Hey, welcome back to my Healthy Eats channel, and tasty calorie. Today, we're whipping up a quick, healthy, and low-cal dish that you can totally take to work. Perfect for those rushed days when you're on the go. And it even works as a side dish for a dinner party. I'll drop the ingredients for you guys. The first thing we're gonna do is take a sharp knife and make lengthwise cuts on the chicken breast. But be careful not to cut all the way through. This way, the seasoning can really seep into the chicken, giving it an extra burst of flavor. It's gonna taste amazing. Next, we're gonna take all the spices, mix them up real good, and then sprinkle them over the chicken to season it. Now, rub the seasoning into the chicken to make sure it gets all the way in. Let it sit for about 30 minutes so it can soak up all that flavor. Now, we're gonna hit it with a little squeeze of lemon. This lemon is gonna kick out any of that chicken funk. In a pan over medium heat, we're gonna add some olive oil and butter. Let that melt and get all sizzling. Now, let's add the mushrooms. The heat's on medium, and I am gonna keep stirring for about 5 to 7 minutes. Once the mushrooms start to get that nice golden color, I'll throw in the crushed garlic. Give it a stir for a minute or two. Then I'll turn off the heat and let it cool down at its own pace. Let it relax. While the mushrooms cool down, I'm gonna mix the Parmesan with some mozzarella. I've got slices, so I'm just gonna shred them up real fine. You can totally buy pre-grated Parmesan, or just grab a block and grate it yourself, whatever works. I'll season it with a gram of salt and half a gram of black pepper, give it a good mix, and we're good to go. Now it's time to stuff the chicken breast with that mushroom and cheese mix. After letting it marinate for about half an hour, I am gonna open up each of those cuts I made. Make sure they're opened up nicely. Take a bit of the mushroom, a bit of the cheese, and stuff it in. Then we just repeat the process with all the cuts. Easy peasy. In the same pan, so we don't lose any of those flavors. Keep it on medium heat and toss in some butter. Let it melt a bit. Now, the garlic amount is totally up to you. If you're a garlic lover, go wild. But if you're like me and not too crazy about it, just add a little. Wait a minute for the butter to melt and soak in that garlic flavor. Then, I'm adding chicken broth. Well, I didn't have any, so I used beef broth instead. No worries, it's all good. I'll add that, and then we'll pour in some cooking cream. Mix it all together. My broth had a bit of chickpeas and some small meat pieces, but hey, no problem. It'll just give an extra layer of flavor to the chicken. After about 2 minutes, this is how the sauce looks, nice and creamy. Now, we'll bring the chicken and place it into the sauce. I'm gonna add the rest of the cheese to the sauce, but this part is totally optional. You can adjust the cheese based on how many calories you want. We're gonna take a spoon and drizzle some of that delicious sauce over the chicken like this, making sure all the flavors blend together perfectly. Now, we've got 3 options. We can either keep it on the stove, cover it, and let it cook for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's done. Or we can pop it in the oven. Another option is to cook it on the stovetop, then give it a quick broil in the oven for a nice finish. I'm going with the stovetop method, so I'll lower the heat to low, cover it up, and let it cook for 20 to 25 minutes. After about 5 minutes, I'm gonna open the lid and repeat the process, spooning the sauce over the chicken again. You'll notice the sauce has thickened up quite a bit, which is exactly what we want. Doing this helps all the flavors really soak in. I'll cover it back up and let it cook. After another 10 minutes, if I want, I'll give the chicken a little stir just to make sure nothing's sticking or burning. But let me tell you, the smell is absolutely amazing. And here's the final look of the dish, all dressed up with a sprinkle of parsley. Isn't it gorgeous? This dish is enough for 2 people because I think doubling the amounts is easier than cutting them down. It is not only super tasty, but it's also nutritious. It's packed with protein, which is super important for building muscles and maintaining tissues. Healthy fats are also key for improving heart health and providing sustainable energy. The dish is rich in minerals like potassium and selenium, and it's loaded with vitamins like vitamin D. If anyone wants more info about the nutritional values, just drop me a comment. When you make the dish, you'll use your own ingredients, and you'll see exactly how many calories they have. But before you start cooking, you'll have a rough idea of the calorie content in your dish. For our recipe today, the main calories come from the cheeses. For example, if we reduce the mozzarella cheese from 50 grams, which gives us 143 calories, to 25 grams, it'll give us about 70 calories. Reduce the Parmesan from 25 grams to 10 grams, it'll drop from 110 calories to 40 calories. So, we can lower the total calories by around 150. Instead of having about 900 calories, we'd be looking at around 750 calories. But keep in mind, the protein content will also decrease from 150 grams down to about 141 grams. So, for anyone focused on building muscle and keeping their protein intake up, and not too worried about calorie count, you can stick to the same amounts of cheese. This dish is healthy. The concept of healthy eating is all about providing our bodies with all the nutrients we need to stay energetic and active throughout the day without feeling sluggish. Plus, it supports maintaining fitness. I am also serving this with a side salad, which is about 90 calories. Since this is for 2 people, we'll add 2 pieces of bread, with each piece being 150 calories. So, if 2 people eat everything on the table, each of them will end up consuming around 650 calories. That's a pretty reasonable amount for a main meal. Plus, we've got our bread and salad. The salad is the star of healthy eating, and it should never be missing from any of our meals. Give this dish a try, and I hope you love it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Enjoy your meal in advance. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our delicious and healthy recipe.